Algebra students, in lesson 3 of unit 3, we are going to learn how to perform function operations and compositions. We're going to start with the 4 basic operations and perform them on 2 functions that are given here. So f of x is equal to 5x to the 1/3. There's my first function. And g of x is equal to negative 11x to the 1/3. That's my second function. Find the following. Well, the first thing we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take f of x plus g of x. That means add function f to function g. Pretty simple here because I just take 5x to the 1/3, that's what that function is, and I add the other function. Well, in that case it's negative 11x to the 1/3. Because these are like terms, they both have the same variable with the same power, I can add their coefficients together. 5 plus negative 11 is negative 6, and the variable part will remain the same, negative 6x to the 1/3. There's adding 2 functions. Subtracting will work the same way. I'll take 5x to the 1/3, and then I will subtract negative 11x to the 1/3. I think it's a good idea to be careful and use parentheses here because you're subtracting a negative expression. 5 minus negative 11 is going to end up being positive 16x to the 1/3. Again, adding like terms, we don't change the variable or its exponent. Multiplying comes next. So now let's take 5x to the 1/3 times, I'll put it in parentheses to show that we're multiplying here, times negative 11x to the 1/3. Now with multiplication, I can multiply the coefficients together. In this case, 5 and negative 11 will become negative 55 when I multiply them together. But then I should also multiply the variables together. X to the 1/3 times x to the 1/3. When I have the same base of a power, I add the exponents together. So that's going to be x to the 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. So negative 55x to the 2/3 would be the product of those 2 functions. And finally, we'll do a little bit of division. F of x divided by g of x. So 5x to the 1/3 divided by negative 11x to the 1/3. The coefficients I would simplify if possible. Well, negative 5/11 is all I'm going to be able to come up with there. Then the x's, I would subtract exponents or think about them in terms of canceling. Well, x to the 1/3 over x to the 1/3, that's exactly the same. If I think about it as subtracting, 1/3 minus 1/3 is 0. So x to the 0 power is 1. Really, these cancel and become just 1, which means negative 5/11 would be the quotient of those 2 functions. It's pretty simple stuff when you're asked to add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions. Our next video will look at how to compose 2 functions. It'll be a little bit more difficult.